Hi there, it's Misty. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So I have a Slimline card I want to share with you today. I made this card for this week's Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. Our challenge this week is called Thanks or Thanksgiving, and we are showcasing products by PinkFresh Studio. Now, I'm starting out on a piece of Arches cold press watercolor paper, and I had purchased a die specifically for this challenge. I purchased the diagonal stitched rectangle die by PinkFresh Studio, and I could not find it for the life of me. So I ended up just using what I did have. I have a Slimline die called Wonky Stitched Wilderness by Trinity Stamps. So, and of course, after I made the card, I found the die from PinkFresh Studio that I was trying to use, of course. So like I said, I have some Arches cold press watercolor paper here, and I'm going to stamp it with my clear ink so I can heat emboss it. And I'm going to stamp it twice just because there's some texture to this paper. And I want to make sure I get a nice good impression. Once I stamp it, I'm going to pour on my gold embossing powder. I thought gold was a nice color to use for a Thanksgiving card. I love fall colors. I wish I was better at making fall or autumn cards, but for some reason I don't know why, I struggle with them. I love it so much, and I think I tried too hard to make it perfect, and then I end up just not doing it because, you know, it doesn't turn out the way I envision. But I actually am happy with the way this one turned out, so I pressed forward. I'm using some masking paper here because I wanted to mask off just the right side of that image so I can stamp it again to fill up the whole background there. So I'm using the Gina K masking paper, which I really like. It has a nice feel to it. It's smooth, easy to cut. So I'll just fussy cut this out really quick and then move on with my stamping. Simon Says Stamp has a really good masking paper too. This is just happened to be the first one I grabbed. I'm just trying to line it up the best I can because I wanted to make sure I got another full sunflower on the right side there. So I'm using my anti-static powder again. I wasn't sure if I got the whole background, so I just did it again. It's better to be safe than sorry. And then I'm just going to stamp just a portion of that there. Didn't quite cover it all. So I know it's been a couple weeks since I've done a video, and you should probably just know that if I don't post every week, then that means I'm probably having some health issues. So just know that that's why I'm not around. Otherwise, I'll post every week. But yeah, nope, had some health problems again. Had to be shipped down to San Francisco once again. But I tell you, having ulcerative colitis or Crohn's or anything like that is a real pain in the butt. I'm learning that a lot of women have it too. I got it at 25 somehow. They say it's hereditary, but nobody in my family had it. And then I had to have my large intestine removed. So I don't know if I actually have colitis anymore. I don't think I do because I don't have a large intestine. But I'm having all the problems and complications of having no large intestine. The malabsorption and malnutrition and all that good stuff. So if I can, I will be posting a video every week. If not, you know something's going on. All right, so I'm just going to quickly heat up the rest of my image here. Look how beautiful that is. And this image is so nice because it's so full that you can't, I mean, there wasn't like a line that you can see, you know, you can't even tell where I added that second image. It looks like it fit right in there, and it looks like it belonged there, is what I'm trying to say. Now I'm using these color burst powders. and I just had them in my stash. I really wish Simon Says Stamp would carry them, but they don't. I looked, it looks like they carry a My Favorite Things has a powder, and I know Nuvo has some powders too, but this I thought was just perfect because it had all the fall colors I wanted to use, and I kind of wanted it to, you know, be a mix of colors. So I've only played with these once or twice before, so I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I was just trying to get a feel for it as I was going here, and I just love the color that it puts out. Because it's not one solid color. That's what I really liked about it. And you know, sunflowers aren't necessarily one solid color, so I'm just going to fill in those petals, and then I'm going to add some more of the powder because they're so pretty. Each one of them has several different colors in it, and it just makes for really pretty, especially autumn colors. And it was just so cool to watch. I loved watching the whole process here, but I'm not gonna bore you with the whole entire coloring here. I'll just leave some of this in. But it's so cool how the colors just kind of, you know, you just add a little bit of water and it just spreads and the color changes, and they're a lot of fun. Look at this one. Look how this turned out. I loved the little pops of green in there. These are just so fun to work with. I haven't tried the Nuvo ones. I purchased a couple holiday ones, but I haven't tried those out yet, so I'll have to use those this holiday season. So once I got the sunflowers, I knew I kind of wanted the sunflowers to have their color, and then for the rest of it, I just wanted very loose coloring. I didn't necessarily want to keep it in, you know, in whatever the image is, like the leaves. I'm trying to do the leaves now, and so you'll see I'm kind of going outside of the embossed image, but I wanted the sunflowers to have their own thing, and then the rest of it just be very loosely colored. And I'm just going back and forth with different colors. I have an orange and I have a brown there, and just adding a little bit, seeing if I like it. If I don't, then I suck it up with the paper towel there. And then when you soak it up with the paper towel, it still leaves the color underneath it, which I thought was perfect. So I could soak up the majority of the bold color and just leave the dark color underneath it. I liked that. And then I'm also going to add some green in there too, just so it didn't turn out to be all just orange and brown. So here I'll add a little bit of green, and see, at first I was trying to keep the green in its place in the leaves. So I'm going to go and I'm going to add the green. Oops, I forgot to turn off my notifications. And then I'm going to go back over it. See here now, I'm going to go back over it and I'm going to spread out that color so that it fills in some of those empty areas. So it really was just getting a feel for it, just playing with it, putting more on. If I didn't like it, I soaked it up. And, you know, just spreading it out and just seeing how I liked it. And luckily, I was pretty happy with it. Yeah, here's where I'm going to go in and just fill in some of those areas. And I'm not adding any more color. I'm just kind of taking the color that's already there and spreading it out a little bit if it wasn't dry. I know, bear with me. This looks a little rough right here. I was thinking the same thing. It's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it ends up working out. That's why I've said it before, and I've heard it said to just continue. Don't stop. If you think you're not going to like it, just finish it. Move forward. And most of the time, actually every time I've done that, I end up liking it. I think every time. Maybe not, but most of the time I end up liking how it turns out. So don't give up. And there's my little trigger. He's my little crafting buddy. He kept wanting to drink the water up there, so I had to keep pulling him back. I wasn't really getting what I wanted with the paintbrush, so I'm taking the splatter brush here, the Tim Holtz splatter brush, and I'm just going to splatter the paint that way. Oh, kitty. All right, so once I got the gold, I liked the way the gold looked. I felt like it needed a little contrast, so I'm going to take some dark brown and I'm going to do the same thing with it and just flick it on there. But see, I mean, I don't know. I like the way the background turned out. It did exactly what I was hoping. I have the sunflowers. They have their solid colors in the lines, and then the rest of it's just kind of loosely colored. All right, so this is the Thanks from the Big Thanks Autumn stamp set by Simon Says Stamp. And I was trying out two different colors. I really like the rose gold. Both of the embossing powders are by Simon Says Stamp, and I had a steel blue and this rose gold, and I liked the rose gold. It just it blended in too well with the background, so I really liked this steel blue. And I tried it at first on craft cardstock, and I did like that. I just didn't like that you couldn't see through it. So I tried it on vellum to see which one I liked better, and I just compared the two. The vellum ended up winning. It's a little bit brighter on the craft cardstock, which I did like, but I wanted to be able to see through it, so. And I'm stamping it, I'm going to heat emboss it twice just to give it a little bit of, not dimension, but it just kind of gives it, you know, an extra layer. It looks a little bit thicker. And then I took the largest of the sentiment labels die and cut out the thanks. Now I'm going to make sure I put lots of glue on the back of this because it was a little bit warped from my heat gun, and I wanted to make sure it was going to stick. And I'm adding it to the, you see a blue, I think it's soft navy background is the name of that color. And I'm just going to put it in my book here and get it nice and flat before I move on to the sentiment. And I'm using these double-sided adhesive strips, and I'm going to hide it behind each letter. So that way the whole thing pops up and it doesn't look warped. You know, sometimes you put glue on the back of letters and it can look warped. I didn't want it to look warped, so I'm going to put it on each letter so it stays evenly elevated. Yep, that's a lot, I know. But I wanted to make sure it was going to stand up. Didn't want no sagging in the middle. And then the two little pieces there in the center of the A and the H, they were stuck to my scissors, so I just put them on there instead of throwing it away. I'm making sure I'm lining it up properly. I'm going to get my T-square ruler here. Just make sure everything looks good. Got my big head in the way, of course. Never fails. And then it was after the fact that I decided to add the happy and the giving. It was just going to be a thanks card. I was going to add a second part to the sentiment, but it was going to be like a friendship sentiment. But, you know, I figured it's Thanksgiving. The challenge was thanks or Thanksgiving, so I decided to add the happy and the giving. And I thought it was perfect, just the small words. I didn't want anything overpowering. I didn't want anything I had to, you know, put on another strip of paper or anything. I just wanted it right there on the background, so I think it just worked out perfectly. And I'm just using, I was just going to stamp it with my acrylic block there, but I figured with the texture of the paper, knowing my luck, once wouldn't be enough. I'd have to stamp it twice and then I'd be kind of SOL. So luckily I put it in my Misty because I did end up stamping both of them twice. And I have no idea why I didn't stamp them both at the same time here. But nope, just adding a little more time on my card here. Why not? This is the first card I've made in a couple weeks, so I was stretching it out. Just kidding, I would have done them at the same time if I would have thought of it. And then I still wanted to use that craft card stock, so I'm going to use that as my base. And my Gina K Connect glue is already empty. I just ordered this the last time I placed an order and it's already empty. So now I'm ordering a couple of them. I should have had a couple on hand anyway, but this was all I had. So I was desperately trying to make it work. Well, that's not true. I had other glues, but I really wanted to use this one. And it was the only Gina K I had. So once I get that put on there, I'm going to add my little embellishments. And these were also part of the stamp set. The Big Thanks Autumn was the latest card kit by Simon Says Stamp, and the sequins were part of that. And they were perfect for this, so I just added a little bit of the glitter, Nouveau glitter drop in the center there. And since I didn't get to use PinkFresh Studio, I wanted to use this stamp set anyway, so I'm going to use it on the envelope. I thought that was perfect. And I love this sentiment. This is the reason why I purchased that particular stamp set, was because of this sentiment. I thought it was really cute. So I'm going to do the same matching gold embossing powder. And I'm just going to heat set it, and that's going to wrap it up. So it says, sending you a big hug with a fold in the middle. Oh, how cute is that? Anyway, that's my card for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll have all of the products I use listed and linked in the video description below, and also over on my blog, where you'll also find additional pictures and more information about the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday Challenge if you'd like to join us. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys next week, hopefully, if all goes well. Bye.